let's get to the ninth cause of a 7-figure internet business. It is what I'm calling retention. All right. And when I say retention, I mean 2 key factors here. The first one is that someone buys your product, they don't refund it, they use the product, they like the product, it delivers the results that they wanted. They have now become a satisfied customer. And a satisfied customer is more likely to do the second key factor, which is buy more of your products and services. Okay? So we could call it retention and ascension if we wanted to. You retain the customer and you ascend them. What do I mean by ascend them? Let's erase this. Ascension would look like this. So someone comes in and let's say that they are a very ambitious person. They're the kind of guy who is like, I'm not like your normal customers, Jason. I'm the kind of guy who's like going to rise to the top. I am going to be, like, you know, the success stories, those guys you talk about all the time. Like, I'm going to be one of those guys. I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to have amazing relationships. I'm going to have amazing health, amazing energy. I'm just going to live this incredible life. I'm going to live it on my terms, and I'm going to do it all. Okay, like one of those top 1%er guys. So the ascension is designed perfectly for someone like him. Okay, because that's the kind of guy who's going to want everything. He's going to want all the best resources. He's going to want to work with me personally. He's going to want everything, right? Like he's going to want to, he's like, Jason, if I can work with you one-on-one, I'm going to do that, right? I just want to get there. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to get there as fast as I can. So the ascension is made up perfectly for him, and it's why we have it, right? So in our business, customers come in, right? It's free plus shipping for the book. But most of them, they'll pay $7.95 for the shipping and handling. They'll buy the upsells. As we said yesterday, the average cart value is actually about $79. So we can say that, but this is where they come in, right? And then we want them to ascend. We want the top people, the most ambitious people who are going to raise their hand, and we're going to move them up to the more personal stuff. Each step of the way, they get closer to working with me one-on-one. They might go to higher level video products. That's a little bit closer. The next one might be joining one of our coaching groups, our 6-figure Freedom Mastermind. The next level might be becoming one of my private clients, right? And they're paying between $50,000 and $75,000 a year for that. So right now, it goes here for the book, and then we have the higher status video program, right, which is a 25-day program. And this is $297. And the 25-day video program, is that more or less intensive than the book? What do you think? Without even, some of you haven't even seen it yet, right? It's more, right? It goes more in depth, it's longer, you get the video, you get all the senses. It's bigger, it's better, you're gonna get more results faster, you're gonna get all these things, and it's more or less expensive. Good, right? So the next level up is typically going to be, honestly, I would say, you can join here. Right, you're gonna join the 6-figure Freedom Mastermind. Yeah, we might have like the High Status Summit or one of our live events, one of our boot camps, and those are cool. Those are kind of side events for people who have a specific thing they want to work on. They want to become great copywriters, they want to start their own social media business, whatever it is, right? But generally speaking, this is where they're going to stay, right? And they're going to join this group. Now this group, how many times are we going to be meeting per year?
12.
12 fucking times per year, right? It's going to be great. 12 times per year. What is the cost, right? Well, for people who are new and going to be joining, it's going to be, for 12 meetings a year, it's going to be $1,200 a month for them. Okay, so it's $1,200 a month, more or less than $297 for the videos. It's more. Do they get closer or further away from Jason here? A lot closer, right? Are they going to, honestly, are they going to get the results that they want faster here or here? Which one? Of course, right? Exactly. Then the final level would probably be becoming one of my one-on-one coaching clients, which we said $50K to $75K for the year, right? And this one, if you become a one-on-one client, is that probably the highest level? Fastest way to get the results, right? And honestly, if someone's new and they don't have a business or a lot of stuff going on in their life, would this really make sense for them? These are the people who already have a good business, have a good life, and it's like they're at a good level, but they're like, I want to go to that next level. I want to really fucking kill it, right? And that's what we do there. This is ascension, okay? It is a predetermined course of action for the most ambitious people to keep moving up. And each level you go up, it's more expensive, but you get significantly more value in return at the same time. Okay? Here is what we want to do. Okay? What does this kind of look like? A funnel, but also, what was it? Does it look like a ladder? If these lines were straight, right, and this is the step of the ladder, it's a ladder. Your ascension, it's called an ascension ladder. That's the whole point. What I want to build in my business, though, is this, okay? You want fences and ladders. That's what you want your business to be about. After they bought the first product, you want your back end, your retention, your ascension. It's just fences and ladders, right? You want to have the ladder for them to move up, right? So they become even better customers who have invested more to work with you. And you want to fence them in so they stay on your yard. They're not looking to move up to climb other people's ladders. They're on your ladder. Does this make sense to everybody? Yes. Good. So, fences. We talked about it yesterday, right? You're fencing them in. They know there's a fence. You know there's a fence. And it's such good land. It's such a good yard that everyone is happy this way, right? I know there's a fence. You know there's a fence. We all know there's a fence. But you're happy to climb the fence because it's the best goddamn fence in the world. And good things happen with every step you take, right? That's what we want. We also want a ladder, okay? What we want is a clear-cut ascension ladder within the business that relates to what they want and your company's mission, okay? I see a lot of marketers do this. They hide their ladder. They're like, yeah, there's more expensive products, but like, I'll tell you about that later. Like, no. Like they're afraid that like maybe the person knows that there's other products they could buy that are more expensive. They won't even get started. And it's like a bait and switch. Well, it's not a bait and switch. These are completely different experiences each step that you go. Again, with more value and a more expensive cost, a more expensive pay to play. But you want to make your ladder visible. When someone buys the book, I want them to know that there's a ladder. And I don't want them just to know that there's a second step. I want them to know that there's 4 steps or 5 steps on the ladder. I want them to be able to visualize their journey to the top, especially the most ambitious people. I want them to start saying to themselves, I'm one of those guys. I'm going to be in Jason's group. I'm going to join Jason's 6-figure freedom mastermind because I want to make 6 figures in my life and I want to have the total freedom to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. I want them to know that. I want those guys to start self-selecting themselves as good candidates to climb the ladder, okay? So we discussed yesterday in kind of the group in one of the different modules about who's got you fenced in, who's got Jason fenced in, right? Whose ladders are you climbing? So we actually didn't talk about ladders. So whose ladders have I climbed? Okay, Dan Kennedy. I've climbed Dan Kennedy's ladder. I'm a much better person for it, okay? Much better marketer, much better person for it. My life is much better because I climbed his ladder. It was funny, I went to one of his events last month in Cleveland. It was in Independence, Ohio, which is like 20 minutes outside of Cleveland. Nothing there at all, about 200 people at the event and him. And I was talking to some of the people who were in the audience, and it was like the ones who were doing really well were like in his mastermind, they're joining, they buy everything. I'm talking to them, like he's a product called Dan Kennedy's Personal Operating System. It's a great little product, no one knows about it, I love it. Right? And I mentioned it to people there because I wanted to see like, oh, are they serious Dan Kennedy people or are they just like, they pretenders, right? And all the ones who were doing really well, they were like, dude, it's amazing. Remember in the 4th module when he talked, like they are on it. They know exactly what his products are about and what he's teaching, okay? And the ones who are like asking questions like, so Dan, like copywriting, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like very basic stuff who don't really know what's going on. Lost, right? They're struggling in business. They can barely make ends meet. Find the right ladder and climb the shit out of it, right? And have the best ladder you possibly can for your customers and encourage them to do the same. So I climbed Dan Kennedy's ladder. I also climbed Dan Pena's ladder, right? I went from buying his book to flying across the country and spending $25,000 to work with him for a week. at his seminar, right? So that's a ladder of his that I climbed. Who wants to share a ladder that they've climbed? Another company, another person, another whatever. And Apple's a good example for sure. You probably started with the phone and then you get the laptop, right?
Yeah.
And mine? And my ladder as well.
Yeah.
How's that worked out for you?
Awesome.
Awesome. Perfect. Any other ladders?
I've gone through some of the guys that created the system that I kind of played with, and I got into a 10K thing, stayed at their house, like maneuvering my way to infiltrate my way to their house.
Mm-hmm. Should you be saying this on camera?
Maybe. Yeah, it's good to just go all in and just get around them as much as possible.
Out of curiosity, did Greg's social circle seminar, did that give you tools?
That was the ladder too.
That was a ladder also.
All his stuff.
Interesting.
And I'd been in, this whole thing for 2 or 3 years at this point, and that was my first live one. And of course I got swollen because it was you and Adam in there, and one day it was just like, you're like the biggest environmental exposure.
Yeah. I remember that, man. The 4 of you. I just remember.
Dude, that was a steal.
Yeah.
For $2,500.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
But did some of the stuff you learned there with the social circle stuff, did you use that in what you're talking about here? In infiltrating circles and stuff like that?
Use it all the time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll let him know that. Yeah, his stuff's great.
Dude,
He talks about that
that's
stuff.
how I did this with the Ferrari and living at the house and like all this shit. I told him that at Dan Payne's thing. He's like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, bro.
Good job, bro. Good job, bro. Who here is listening to our conversation and is like, I want to know what he's talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
who's that?
Yeah, I'll tell you later. Cool. Yeah. So was climbing that ladder beneficial for you?
The best thing I ever did.
People have an aversion to climbing ladders because they think they're somehow like they're getting duped in some way. You're getting duped when you convince yourself climbing someone else's ladder is a bad thing. That's the ultimate dupe, right? Don't climb everyone's ladder, but find the correct ladder and climb the shit out of it. Invest fully in the right person, and it's like so many guys have bought just go look at the dating industry. There's so many guys who have bought 20 different ebooks between $30 and $100. Stop. You took everyone's first step of their ladder, and you've gotten nowhere, and you got no results, and you're still lonely and unconfident and angry. Why not find the right person out of those 20 and just climb their ladder? You'd be so much further ahead. You'd have saved yourself 3 years of agony. Okay? So then the question becomes, though, how do we fence, right? How do we fence them in, and how do we get them to climb our ladder? Okay? So let's talk about fencing them in. And it's not that difficult. There's just a few key principles, okay? For your customers, if you want them to continue to stay with you and not get the wandering eye and start not looking around at other people's products and services, make them happier, healthier, wealthier, and wiser, okay? Develop them as human beings. Make them stronger people, make them more courageous people, make them bolder people, make them more clever people, make them happier, healthier, wealthier, and wiser, okay? And it's like, this sounds so basic, but so many people out there look at their customers and they ask a primary question like, how can I get more money out of them? That's how a lot of people operate their business. That's their primary question. It's the question they ask themselves over and over. If that's the question you're always asking, our brain answers questions that we ask automatically. We just do it. So you're constantly looking at them as just a sort like an ATM. You're like, how can I get more money out of them? I look at the customers, every single person, even if they're at the bottom or if they're at the top, and I'm asking, how can I add even more value to their lives? That is my primary question in business. How can I add even more value to their lives? How can I make them healthier? How can I make them happier? How can I make them wealthier? How can I make them wiser? As long as I'm doing that, do you think if someone's doing that for you every single day, you're gonna wanna go somewhere else?
No.
Of course not, right? What other things are important? So, frequency is important in fencing them in, okay? Frequency of communication. I have a daily email. How often do I send it out?
Every day.
It's called a daily email, right? Every day. I wanna talk with you every day. We're gonna start adding SMS pretty soon, right? You're gonna get a daily text from me as well. Now, if in that text, let's say it's a quote, a really good quote, and then Jason commenting on the quote for a couple sentences about how it affects you in your life today, do you think you want to read that every day? What if it's a 30-second audio message from Jason every day, amping you up and inspiring you? Would you listen to that most days? Frequency, but am I leading with value? And what if at the end of that audio message, there was a 25 seconds of inspiring you and then a 5-second opportunity and a call to action? Would that stop you from listening to it? Right? It's good business. It works just fine, okay? So frequency is important. You call it disclosure, you can call it intimacy, both important too, okay, in terms of fencing someone in. This is building that emotional connection with them. One of the best ways to do it, especially through this medium of the internet, is because you can't like email someone and be like, hey, tell me something you've never told anyone else, right? Get intimate with me. Like, it's not gonna work. But what happens if you share something, you disclose something intimate about yourself in that frequent communication? Do you think it's gonna build more of a bond or less of a bond? You're honest, you're actually, it's not a tactic, right? You're actually disclosing things. So that's another way to do it. Here's another way to fence them in. Bring them into a mission that allows them to be a part of something bigger than themselves. What's our mission on Team Capital right now? 100 million people, high status, right? So they get what they want, when they want, with who they want. And you, each and every one of you are most certainly a part of that mission, okay? Is it sincere and honest? Hell yes. Is it a great tool to keep people fenced in also? Right? Of course. They want to see the mission to its end also. If you don't have a mission in your business, you're missing out big time and you are losing customers to other people's yards. You got a hole in your fence. Okay? You got a gate missing in your fence. Here's another one with the mission. There should be an active enemy working against the mission. So if my goal is to make 100 million people high status, and I'm dead fucking serious about that, who's our enemy? Who's stopping you from becoming high status and living the life that you want?
Sandwich brigade.
The sandwich brigade, right? The seduction of the 55K a year salary at the cubicle job. It's safe, but you know what? It puts me in a Lexus, right? There's that. It's the temptation of average, of mediocrity. So that's our enemy. Mediocrity is our enemy. Average is our enemy, right? That internal pull we all have sometimes, that internal voice that tells us we don't have to work so hard. We don't have to aim so high. We can just be like everybody else. That's our enemy. And then here's the last one, very important. Always do what you're going to say. Always do what you say you'll do, okay? Always do what just do what you're going to say. If I tell you there's going to be an email in your inbox tomorrow and it's going to say, the higher status video system is here, exclamation point, and it's going to be there at 12 p.m. and make sure you click the link, I'm going to make sure there's an email with that exact subject line at that exact time. If I do that, does that build trust? I know I can rely on this person. Has anyone here ever had an experience with a business or someone they worked with who said, like a friend maybe? Anyone ever have a friend who they always say they're going to do something and then they never do? They never follow through? Anyone want to share? Anything come to mind? You had a friend you couldn't rely on, a friend who said he'd be there at 7 and he always shows up at 7:30? You guys know people like that? Everyone out in their head? Yeah. When that happens, here's the thing. So let's say someone says they're going to be there at 7 and you get there at 7 and they're not there and they don't show up till 7:20. What are you doing from 7 o'clock until 7:19? If you're Taylor, you're steaming mad. You're aggro, right? You're super aggro. That's what you are, right? And you're aggro for a little bit, you're mad for a little bit, and then what happens?
Stop trusting them.
You stop trusting them, but don't you also start to think, who else wouldn't do this to you? Who else doesn't make you wait? Don't you have other friends that never make you wait? This is what we do. We get the wandering eye. We start looking at other people's fences. We start questioning if we should still be friends with this person. Can we rely on them? Can I just not trust them at all? Can't do business with someone you don't trust. And that's what happens, right? So if you say you're going to do something, just do it. And here's the thing. If you don't know if you can do it, just say you don't know if you can do it. I'd much rather have someone just be honest with me, even if it's not the answer I want to hear. Right? There's a great book called Don't Say Yes When You Mean No. That's the whole book. You got it. You don't got to read it. You're welcome, okay? Don't say yes when you mean no. Just say no. And then read that other book, Start with No, by Jim Camp. Right? No is an important word. No is a complete sentence. You can say no. Someone says no to you, can you trust them? No builds trust. You're like, this person isn't a bullshitter. They're not just like telling me what I want. They said no. No builds trust. I trust you when you tell me no. Okay? Very, very powerful thing. So that's fences. What about ladders? How do we inspire ladder climbing? Right, how do we inspire the climbing of the ladder? Here's the first one, okay? And you could take this cliche saying back to the 70s in direct response marketing, but Dan Kennedy used to have this saying when someone's like, I don't know why my funnel's not working, they buy the first product, no one's taking the upsell, or no one's buying the big thing, the big product, the big kahuna, the flagship product, what's going on? Is it the copy? Is it the traffic? Is it the list? What's going on? It's the offer, stupid. It's the offer, dumbass. Right, that's how he would say it. I'm quoting Dan Kennedy right now. It's the offer, stupid. That's his saying. It's the offer. It's not selling. It might be the copy. It might be the pictures. It might be the traffic source. It could be all these things. But at the end of the day, if you've got someone who's obsessed with chocolate and they can't find chocolate and you're offering chocolate, are they going to buy your chocolate? They're going to buy your chocolate. You gave the right offer to the right person. It's the offer. So how do we inspire ladder climbing if it's not happening? Well, one, make sure you make it obvious to everybody. Talk about it in your programs. Talk about it in your emails. Mention it at times. Make it frequent. Use the mirror exposure effect. But also, make sure that the offers are actually what they want. Have great offers. Someone buys this book and it changes their life, which happens all the time, which I'm super grateful for. Does the Higher Status Video 25-Day Program, is that a great offer for this person who loved the book? It makes perfect sense, right? And this program is incredible. It really is. I'm proud of it. Anything I've done, me and Taylor, we got sick in Mexico to create that product. Literally, both of us. All right. We literally both almost died in Tulum, Mexico, filming that over the course of a week. And we were doing it at the same hotel where there was a yoga retreat going on at the same time. So my girlfriend, she went to the yoga retreat, and we were filming all day inside this hotel room. It's beautiful outside. We really know we got to get this done. This is so important. But the program is great, right? How do we actually, you guys want to know how we got sick, right? I see these faces. When you hear this story, I see people lean in. So first of all, the mistake I made, what I think really got me sick, wasn't the food. I love Mexico, or at least I did. In Tulum, it's where like you can go see like the Aztec ruins, right? Is it Mayan or Aztec? It's Mayan ruins.
Mayan ruins.
It's Mayan ruins, yeah. That's right, because it's right south of Mayan Riviera. So there's this old Mayan ritual that they used to go through, that they would, thousands of years they would do this, called the Temazcal. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
The hut. It's a hut made out of just cement, okay, and it looks like if you cut a golf ball in half and you put half the golf ball down, giant one, that's what this is. It's just a half circle hut with a tiny little hole you crawl through to get in. And then once you get in, it's just ground and cement. That's it, just dirt and cement. And in the center is a fire pit of hot lava rocks. Okay, and they're smoking hot. And then you go in with a shaman, and then every 20 minutes or so, a guy comes in with a giant bucket of water, multiple buckets, and he just pours it on the hot lava rocks. What happens when you do that? Steam. Okay, who here has ever been in the steam in a gym? Right? Who here likes going to the steam? Feels good for about 10 minutes? Right? You're like, no, I don't like it. Take the normal steam, double it, and then multiply that by 2, and then double that, and that's the Temazcal inside. I was in the fetal position in 10 minutes. I'm not kidding. She goes, if it gets too hot, just lie on the ground on the actual dirt, because it's the coolest place possible. It's the lowest place possible. So I'm just lying there. I have my necessary organs like on the ground, just like trying to keep myself from dying. And we were in there for an hour and a half. You're not allowed to leave. An hour and a half in here. I lost 30,000 pounds. All water, okay? And that's the bad part. The good part is it's amazing. You go through this whole experience. There's 4 questions you ask. You answer them with the whole group. It's a seriously amazing ritualistic experience. And you walk out a different person. It's cool, right? The metaphor that they use is when you walk in, you let go of all the shit you've been holding on to and you give it to the godmother of earth or whatever. And then you, in front of all these other people, you state what is your goal for this year. Why are you here? What do you want to achieve this year? Who do you want to become? And you make that active, public, voluntary commitment to everybody else in that room. Then you go through a couple more questions, some release stuff, and then you leave. But 5 minutes of that, you'll sweat it out, you'll feel good. An hour and a half of that, especially my body, dude, it took such a toll on my immune system. I think someone could have sneezed on me after that and I would have gotten sick. I was just in a super vulnerable state. So right after that happens, we meet Taylor for food, and I don't remember what we ate. We ate salad in Mexico.
Yeah. We eat salad every day.
Yeah. And they,
Chicken salad. And I put
grilled chicken and salad.
Just a bunch of produce. That's great.
We ate all that stuff. And then it wasn't until, it was like the last night, yeah. And you got sick the night before, I got sick the night after. But that was when I got sick. He actually got sick the night before. We filmed the last day where I'm over here, I'm going nuts on camera, I'm giving everything I have to you. And Taylor's just behind the camera like this. Dead. He's got his hoodie on, right? Yeah, he's just like, got Pedialyte and he's, it was rough.
No produce, no water.
Yeah.
All over Mexico.
Anywhere in Mexico, yeah.
They rinse off the produce before they serve it or cut it up. Even that alone will get you. It was interesting because it took an hour and a half after dinner for it to kick in, and I was up for like 6 hours. I had a Gatorade and a pint of water. I'm like, if I run out of either of those, fuck. Because I'm just in a bungalow hut. Like, there's no AC, there's a little fan, 80% humidity, and 90 degrees outside. It sucked. But
Praying to the porcelain goddess.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no, we're not coming back.
no.
We achieved what we set out to do. We conquered. We conquered. So, anyways, to bring it all back, right? That's the first part of having the ladder that's going to inspire ladder climbing. Having great offers. Don't just be like, oh, I wonder what product I should create, and then create it. Like, put real time and thought and research and effort into crafting an offer that is actually what the person wants. It is astounding how many people put out products that nobody wants but them. Don't do it. You will waste time, you will waste energy, and you will lose money. And better yet, you will lose your relationship with the customer, because what do they think when you keep selling them something they don't want? This person doesn't know me. This person doesn't get me. This person doesn't understand me. This is not my kin. He's not one of me, he's one of them. It's disrespectful of their human nature and what they really want. All right, so that's the first one. Second one, have great testimonials. It's better to have 5 amazing testimonials than 500 pretty good ones. Have them. Encapsulate each step of your ladder, each offer, in the testimonials. Right? Make them known. I want that person, when they think about this offer, to think about maybe just, I'd be great if they see this, they see a great picture in their mind of Jason teaching or some result that they want, and they remember one story about someone else who used the product and had an amazing result. Okay? Great copy is great, but there's certain triggers in the human brain that just are the most powerful, the highest levers, right? Authority and social proof are 2 of them. So have great testimonials. Here's another way to inspire ladder climbing. Before they go to the next step, deliver great results with the first one. If your products are great and they use them and they love them and they get results out of them, don't you think they might want to buy some more shit from you? You buy an iPhone. This thing is amazing. I've never had an Apple product before. What do you own 3 months later? You own a laptop. You own an iPad. You have Steve Jobs' biography, right? You have an abundance of red apples in your fridge. You didn't even eat apples before. You're all over the place, okay? It's Apple City. So have great offers, have great testimonials, actually have great products. Do whatever it takes to have the best products on the planet that deliver the best results, right? Roberto's talking about the books that he writes. He can't rush through them. They have to be good. He has a standard for himself that is higher and stronger than anybody else, and he must achieve his standard, right? That's the key. Have an incredible standard for the result that your product or service will deliver, and hold yourself to that standard more than anyone else will. Here's 2 more things to do, okay? Okay, the first one we talked about, make the ladder known and clear, okay? So mention it in products, mention it in emails, just make it in there. We call it FOMA, right? Front of mind awareness. Have it in their front of mind, something that's just always kind of there, they know about. You want it there all the time, right? Ping it, talk about it, mention it, plant seeds. And then in addition, here's the final one. And this one's really powerful, okay? Publicly give special attention to the ladder climbers. Who can tell me what that means in practicality? Publicly give attention, give special attention to the people who are climbing the ladder.
Like testimonials from people from the brotherhood.
It's testimonials, but it is in front of the whole customer list. Single out that person, talk about how great they are, because they are, but do it in front of everyone else and mention the thing that you admire most about them, or mention one of the things you like most about them is that they're climbing the ladder. You don't say those words, but you mention that they have gone from here to here to here, and now their life is amazing. What does this do to everyone else watching? It reinforces that it works. They have envy. They have FOMO, right? They're missing out. They might get a little jealous or envious, kind of the same thing. You're using it as a testimonial as well, right? Your products deliver incredible results. So it hits all kinds of different psychological triggers, but it's also, here's probably the best part. You are actually rewarding your best customers. Who doesn't like recognition? We all do. Right? We all do. There was a study done at IBM like 25 years ago where they found that employees are more motivated by recognition than they are by incentives. Meaning recognition is more motivating than cash. Unless you just throw a giant, you throw $1 million in a suitcase in front of them. They're like, all right, I'll take the suitcase. Right? But for the most part, recognition is more powerful and motivator than cash. So by me giving that person recognition in front of everybody, I am actually rewarding them for climbing our ladder. So many business owners, all they focus on are the people, the refunders, the few bad apples. Why do you give all your attention to people who aren't in your way of thinking, who aren't doing what you want? Right? Give that attention to the people who deserve it. Like in your life, we all like I made this mistake myself 100%, where I'm giving all this time and attention to the girl who won't text me back. Right? And I'm trying to think of ways to say to her, or I'm sending her texts, or I'm doing things for her. Why the hell am I rewarding some girl who is ignoring me? Shouldn't I be rewarding the girls in my life who actually are great to me? Yeah, but how many times have you guys ever worked really hard to try to get a girl who's just not even cool with you? She's not even cool to you. And there's great people in your life who you ignore and you go after her at their expense. Why are we rewarding people who treat us poorly and ignoring people who treat us well? It's a self-esteem issue. Once I got my self-esteem straight and I got really grounded in who I was and comfortable with who I am, and the old cliche term, really comfortable in my own skin, all that shit disappeared. I reward people who deserve it in my life, and people who don't, they're dead to me. They're cut off. All right, the cord is cut. That was good. It's good timing. All right.
Is that why you had me speak on stage at UMass? Kind of along that avenue?
I wasn't thinking this, but I want to show off my top member. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want to take, you guys are like ponies to me. I want to take you off and show you around. Yeah. Win first prize at the show, 100%. Yeah, and then on top of it, I want to create competition in our coaching groups because competition makes you get better faster, right? Like if you want to get good at basketball, go play against the best people and not just fucking 8th graders. So I wanted you guys competing in that group because I wanted everyone to work on their speaking. And then of course, every other Brotherhood member who sees you on stage and isn't up there, what are you guys thinking? I want to fucking win. I want to be up there, right? So now everyone's more motivated. It wins on so many levels, right? And you should absolutely do it in your own business. So here's what I want you guys to do now, okay? I want you to brainstorm, and you at home, I want you to do it as well. I want you to brainstorm right now 5 ways that you can create or you can start using fences in your business, okay? Fences first. 5 ways that you are going to use fences in your business. You're gonna fence them in, and they're gonna know there's a fence, you're gonna know there's a fence, and everyone is cool with it. Everyone's happy about it. All right, so who wants to share a couple of the tactics or principles or strategies that they came up with for creating fences that your customers love to stay in. Yeah.
The only really good one I would think of is I wrote the ladder as the fence. But if you get
That's
a good
steep.
progression, then why did they want to go anywhere else? Because the only place they need to go is just keep doing what they're doing. It'll climb.
It's almost like they're so focused on going up that they don't look sideways, right? Yeah.
I mean, if anything else that they possibly might want is on that next rung of the ladder or one of the rungs up there, then why do they want to go that way if they can go this way?
Exactly. Like, yeah, especially when you have that momentum, right? No one wants to stop and then go get down, and you have to climb down someone's ladder, and then you have to go climb. That's a whole lot of work.
It's clear, like if the ladder's right there, and it's clear. They don't know what's out there. They have to go looking.
Right.
They don't know what they're going to find.
And if
it's right here, then that's all they need to do.
and if they like what's happening there, why would they?
Everything has to be working for them. It's what they want.
course.
Not a different ladder.
Yep. That's great. Yeah.
But
That's perfect. I love that. What else?
Promoting useful products to my list.
Affiliate products or that are your own?
Affiliate products.
Well, isn't that almost the opposite of
Without
offense?
being too needy, but
But isn't that almost the opposite of offense? You're sending them to someone else's yard. Here's my philosophy on promoting affiliate stuff. Do you guys ever see me promote someone else's products?
yeah, a few, barely.
What percent of the time would you say? 1? And it's not like it's not this one. It's like a pinky. It's like a small one, right? Are you on other people's lists in different markets, personal development, make money, dating, all kinds of stuff? Yes. How often do you see them promote affiliate products?
More than you.
A lot, right? Some of them less than others, but a lot. I almost never do. Why? Because I have the best goddamn yard in the world.
Let's say it's not good enough.
That's just the truth. And a lot of times people have asked me to promote affiliate products, someone else's product. I have a product for that already. Why would I promote that product when I have one? And again, it's not narcissistic. It's just complete belief that what I've created, I know how hard I've worked on it. I know my resources. I know my connections. I know what I've put into this product. I know it's the best one in the world. I'm not saying it's better than yours. I'm just saying it's the best one in the world. Different framing, but true. So it doesn't make sense, right? To me, building a business on selling other people's products is not a long-term business strategy. It's a short-term cash strategy. I could promote someone's product and probably make 50 grand in 3 days. But what's the long-term loss that I make from that? That's what I'm concerned about, okay?
because your customer just went there.
Right. Now here's the thing. Most customers, if they do go there, the problem is if you recommended that product, even if the product sucks, did you or did you not just put a halo on that other person's product? Yes or no? You did. You said it was good. And because they trust you, even most people, they just don't trust themselves. So even though they don't trust themselves, they trust you. So because you said it's good, even if they go there and they're like, inside, they're like, this doesn't seem that good, they won't believe themselves. They will actually convince themselves, no, I'm doing something wrong. If Jason said it's good, it must be good. So there's really no point. Does that make sense to everybody?
You're just fucking them over.
Yeah, it's not really helping anybody. That's not to say I won't promote affiliate stuff ever. If it's something I believe in, I know is great, and I don't have it, then I will absolutely promote it. Like Ryan McGinn, for instance, I don't have style products, right? I'll promote his stuff. Elliot Holst is coming out with a yoga thing soon. I don't have a yoga thing, right? I do it sometimes, but I'm not an expert in it by any means. So I already told him when it's ready, I want to promote it, right? So I think yoga is great. I think it's a great way for people to train themselves to be more in their body and be more present without the stigma of meditation attached to it. So I'm happy to do that. Like that's when it makes sense to me. And to me, I think on some karmic level, you get some fence benefit from it because they're like, man, he really is looking out for me. Because when I promote those products, I'll let them know I never do this. And it's not me saying something and then doing another. I never do this. Right? It's not like when you're going home with a girl from the bar and you're like, I never do this. Right? That's different. Okay, what else? Let's get a couple more.
We got a couple success bonuses. So we're like, all right, if you make your first 10K with us, we'll buy you a badass drone. If you make a 20K month, we'll fly you out first class, hang out in the state. So basically, here's what top people are working toward. When you do that, you get rewarded. I mean, we got a couple things. Anton's got a special Facebook group that we add people into when they join with us on our team. And once a week, there's the Sunday night group calls. So we try to get people on that and help them specifically with their questions. Obviously, we can indoctrinate them more into the mission.
Yep.
So kind of like getting away from the corporate America, the 9 to 5, instead creating their own lifestyle, being their own boss,
Yep.
working online, getting really into that. And then sharing our testimonials to people who are actually having success in inspiring others that, hey, this is possible, we're not the only ones doing this, and just showing them that they can join that level of people.
Good. So I like the first one. There's an increasing number of carrots with each step of the ladder, right? As they succeed more, they get rewarded more. You guys see that? There's bigger benefits for them. They're incentivized to keep selling more. So it's almost like you got them on the hook, right? Once they get started, they're like you guys ever get like one of those cards from like a bagel shop or something, or a video shop where it's like if you buy 10 bagels, you get like the 11th free, and they hole punch it, right? The minute you notice when you do it, by the way, when they give it to you, they never just give it to you without any holes punched, right? They always punch the first 2 when they give it to you. Why do they do that? They got you started, committed consistency, right? They've already got you started towards the finish line. And once you've started, most people are, even if they don't want to, what's their rationalization? I'm just gonna finish this. I may as well. I already started, right? So they'll never just give you an unpunched card and be like, all right, good luck. No, it goes, you know what? Even though you bought 1 bagel, we're gonna get you started. Maybe 3. Now you're like, shit, I'm close. I'm almost halfway there, okay? So I think that's awesome, right? I think that's awesome. It's using incentives in a really strong way. Another thing that Sharon does actually with his real estate companies, they have 600 realtors who work for them, okay? To qualify as a realtor, there's certain tests you have to pass. I don't think they use a buy-in fee like Keller Williams, because Keller Williams is more of an MLM scheme. But all their agents, they have a rule that they have to sell a certain amount of properties each year, and if they don't, what happens? You're off the team. Go work for Keller Williams. Go work for someone else. So not only is there a carrot for going up to each level, but there's a stick waiting if they don't. You guys see how powerful that is? Right? So do you think Ryan and Anton can add that in the way they set it up? I don't know if I'd kick them off because you're not working with quite as high level people, but even making it known that it can happen if you're not producing, if you're not serious, if you don't have the work ethic, that can be a powerful motivator. Again, 2 out of 3 people are more motivated by moving away from than moving towards. One out of every 3 people is more motivated by the next level up, the drone or whatever they can win. But 2 out of 3 people are more motivated, not by the drone, but by simply not losing their spot.
Those put their stats on blast. That's one thing that a lot of companies do. They'll show everyone's stats like next
Sure.
to each other, so everybody's like, yo, I do not want to be the guy at the bottom.
Sure. You make the leaderboard public, yeah. And when we do affiliate stuff, I didn't mention that, but if we're ever running an affiliate special or contest, I am constantly pinging all my affiliates and letting them know where they stand and everyone else. I'm like, yo, this person just mailed, they just jumped ahead of you. Do you want to crush them or destroy them? What do you want to do, right? Things like that.
Yeah, I've kicked people out too, so it works well.
It's great, yeah. It's great. And then it builds more camaraderie with the people who are still in as well. All right, these are all great fencing strategies. Let's take 3 more minutes right now and let's brainstorm at least 5 ways that you can use the ladder strategy, okay? Maybe it's an offer in your ladder. Maybe you are clearly elucidating your ladder. Are you gonna make it more public? Where are you gonna make it public? How are you gonna inspire more ladder climbing in your business and in your customers?